Liverpool have confirmed the signing of left-back Milos Kerkez from Bournemouth in a deal worth £40 million. The 21-year-old has agreed a 5-year deal with Arne Slot's Premier League champions. It'll keep him at Anfield until 2030. Speaking to the club's media team, the Hungarian international says he's excited to be joining such a big club and can't wait to get started with his new teammates.
I'm really happy. It's a real honor for me, privilege to come to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world, biggest club in England, and I'm just really happy and excited.
You spoke about watching bits of Liverpool history on YouTube. They've made history again this year and in a great position to build on that now, and the future looks so bright.
Yeah, definitely. This is the club that wants to win, needs to win. So of course it's a big thing. Last season completely, I think, dominated everyone, and of course big congratulations. But yeah, always, you know, you need to want more, and definitely from last season, I think this season club's gonna build on it and only get a lot better.
For that to be a reality, though,
yeah,
after speculation and talks going on, how does that feel to you as a player?
You know, it's you can't have much peace, because you know it's Liverpool, and you want to be a Liverpool player, and I think it's should be every kid's dream. And yeah, I was just waiting nearly every day and what is happening, and wanted my dad to tell me and this. And a couple of days ago, a week ago, he told me it's falling good and that we are flying this week here. So really happy.
On the breaking news we brought you regarding Cristiano Ronaldo, let's cross live to our chief correspondent, Kave Solokol, who's in Orlando at the Club World Cup for us. Kave, it's as you predicted, of course. He is staying at Al Nassr. What more can you tell us?
Yeah, we told you yesterday that he was very close to agreeing to sign a new contract with Al Nassr, and Al Nassr have just announced that that contract has been signed. They've released some pictures of Cristiano Ronaldo signing his contract, and there's also a video of him walking along a beach, filmed from behind him, and then he turns to the camera and he says Al Nassr forever. Now, this new contract that he signed is a 2-year contract which will keep him at Al Nassr until 2027, when he will be 42 years old. We're being told that he feels at home in Saudi Arabia. He wants to stay there for as long as possible. Of course, he joined Al Nassr in January 2023 after he left Manchester United in quite acrimonious circumstances, and his Al Nassr contract was due to run out on Monday. Now, it's been left until the last minute. I think these kind of negotiations always go to the wire, because I imagine both sides were trying to get the best deal possible. Regarding his wages, it is a closely guarded secret in Saudi Arabia how much he earns, but he is generally regarded as being the best paid player in the world. And when I've spoken to people in Saudi Arabia and put it to them that he's on wages of around 200 million euros a year, which is 170 million pounds a year, which is around 3.2 million pounds a week, I have not been steered away from those figures. I think he really is the best paid player in the world. I think the only other player who comes close to him is probably Lionel Messi. He's got this contract with Inter Miami, and he earns obviously a lot on top of that because of the commercial deals he has with the MLS and Inter Miami. But just getting back to Cristiano Ronaldo, I think the reason he's decided to stay in Saudi Arabia, obviously the financial aspect of it, but also the sporting aspect, because if you remember earlier this month, he was in very good form for Portugal as they won the Nations League in Munich, and he's got his eyes on the prize of the World Cup next year here in the US, and he still feels that by playing Al Nassr next season in the Saudi Pro League, he will be in good enough condition to play for Portugal in the World Cup. One other thing to tell you about as well is I'm also being told that he likes life in Saudi Arabia so much that he's also considering making sports investments in the kingdom.
Goodness me. Well, like you say, and I can think of 70 million reasons as to why you perhaps would stay at Al Nassr. I mean, look, just explain to those people who are just joining us why he isn't playing where you are right now in the Club World Cup then.
Well, Al Nassr didn't qualify for the Club World Cup, but obviously there was this special transfer window at the start of this month where he could have moved to a club who are playing in the Club World Cup. There were quite a few clubs who were interested in signing him, but at the end of the day, he was not able to agree a deal to play for one of those clubs. I think Cristiano Ronaldo, being Cristiano Ronaldo, he would only want to sign for a club who had a good chance of winning this competition. I think it would have been a dream come true for FIFA if he had decided to sign for a club who were playing here, because they've got Lionel Messi. They wanted Cristiano Ronaldo as well. One club he could have moved to, of course, would have been Al Hilal, who were Al Nassr's rivals in Riyadh. We were covering one of their games a few days ago, and speaking to the people at Al Hilal, they were a little bit bemused about how we in the Western media, as they called us, had got away with this story of the possibility of him moving to Al Hilal, because they said Al Nassr is a very, very proud club and they would not want their star player moving to their big rivals. One other thing to tell you about Cristiano Ronaldo as well is, at the moment, he's on 938 career goals and he wants to get to 1,000. I wouldn't bet against him getting another 62 goals for Al Nassr and Portugal over the next 2 years. We've just had a quote from him as well about his new contract. He says, "A new passion begins. The same passion, the same dream. Let's make history together. Al Nassr forever."
It's remarkable, really, to think that he will, be 42 by the end of that contract. You know, you wonder whether they could have just given him a year's deal, but they've actually given him 2 years. I wonder whether he wants to go on to playing till he's 45.
Well, I think whenever he's been asked about retirement, he has dismissed it out of hand. He says that's a long way away. I still feel really good. I still feel my form is great. If you look at the pictures of him, very active on social media recently, posting shirtless pictures of him in the gym with his son. He still looks in great shape. Obviously, everyone knows that he's very proud of his physique and he looks after himself. But I just get the feeling that Cristiano Ronaldo loves football so much that he's going to carry on and on and on. And obviously, Al Nassr love him, Saudi loves him as well, and he enjoys living there. And there's been talk even that he may invest in a Saudi Pro League club. So I think even after 2027, Cristiano Ronaldo's association with Saudi Arabia is going to go on and on, especially because they're hosting the World Cup in 2034.
And that's exactly where he wants to be, isn't it? He wants to be playing for Portugal at that club, at that World Cup, I should say. Calvi, it's been brilliant to talk to you, as always. Thank you for joining us to give us more on the Cristiano Ronaldo story.
Let's talk a little bit of Arsenal, shall we? Because we've sat in front of Mikel Arteta on numerous Fridays asking whether or not they're going to sign a striker. And here we are again, asking whether or not they're going to sign a striker. Liverpool, we hear from the papers in the Sun today, have joined the race to sign one of their targets, Victor Gyökeres. What do you think Arsenal's thinking are here, and are they any closer to getting that striker in?
Yeah, I think it's still been quite quiet on that front, just because there have been other priorities this week. Of course, I'm sure we'll talk about Brentford's Norgard soon, but also when you look at, I guess, the internal stuff they've been wanting to do ahead of next season, that's probably taken a front seat. With Gyökeres, I don't think that's moved on as it seemed from the reports in Portugal last week. So that's one where I think you're still waiting for, I guess, the dominoes to fall properly and then everything kind of into action. So yeah, I think with if Liverpool are to get involved, then that would obviously have to shift Arsenal into gear on that one.
What's also really interesting, and you mentioned Norgard there, is they're closing in on that signing effectively to replace Thomas Partey. What are your feelings on that? Because Partey's probably had one of the best years of his career at Arsenal, hasn't he? It's not really a like for like. It's not going to make the fans particularly happy, is it?
No, I've seen a lot of debate on social media over the last 24 hours. A lot of conflicting views. I think for me personally, I think it's just one that you need a competent midfielder in that position. Of course, he's coming in more as a backup, I'd say, than someone who you're expecting to regularly, because you have Martin Zubimendi coming for Real Sociedad. So for that role, I think you see the Jorginho signing as probably something similar, where he joined at the same age, 31 years old, and played a decent role in midfield for Arsenal. Didn't play loads of games, but was competent and helped when needed. So for that reason, I think it's a fine signing. It's not one that's gonna have fans kind of screaming with joy, but I think if and when injuries kick in, you'd rather have that player there than not have them.
Welcome to SportLab, where we break through the noise and deliver sharp, accurate insight on the biggest moves in world football. Today, Liverpool land a rising fullback, Cristiano Ronaldo signs on for more in Saudi Arabia, and Arsenal target a promising La Liga defender. Let's get into it. Kerkez signs for Liverpool, an honour. It's official, Milos Kerkez has signed for Liverpool. The young left-back joins from Bournemouth and is already embracing the Anfield challenge. Speaking after the announcement, Kerkez said, "It's a real honour for me, a privilege to come to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world, the biggest club in England. I'm just really happy and excited." He added, "I'm going to give everything, absolutely everything, to win trophies with the club and hopefully score some goals at Anfield. I can't wait to hear the roar." Kerkez is set to join up for pre-season after a short break in his hometown, and the buzz around his signing signals Liverpool's intent to refresh their squad with youth and hunger. Cristiano Ronaldo extends with Al Nassr. Cristiano Ronaldo has signed a contract extension with Al Nassr that will keep him at the club until 2027. The 40-year-old forward, who was due to be out of contract next week, has committed to continuing his Saudi Pro League journey. Al Nassr released a statement calling him the club's historic leader, as they unveiled a video confirming the news. Ronaldo remains a central figure in the league's ambition to raise its global profile and continues to deliver at a high level, both on the pitch and as a brand ambassador for Saudi football. Arsenal in talks for Christian Mosquera. According to Sky Sports' Lyle Thomas, Arsenal are in talks with Valencia over the signing of 20-year-old centre-back Christian Mosquera. Mosquera has 1 year remaining on his current contract and has long been on Arsenal's radar. Mikel Arteta is looking to increase competition in the right-sided centre-back position, and Mosquera's development over the past 2 seasons has kept him in the club's plans. This move would continue Arsenal's strategy of building depth with high-potential, young defenders. That's the latest from the world of football transfers, from Kerkez's excitement at joining Liverpool, to Ronaldo's renewed commitment in Saudi Arabia, and Arsenal's quiet moves for the future. This is SportLab, your trusted source for clear, focused football news. Like, subscribe, and stay locked in for more updates as the transfer window unfolds. SportLab, where football comes to life.